Hi everybody, DayTraderRockStar here, and a updated video for May 19th going into Friday. What a day we had today. What a market move we had today. I want to go over some setups for tomorrow. I want to discuss a couple different things. The Rockbot, the improvements on the Rockbot, how the quad rotation is working, and some developments here at Day Trading Radio. All right, so let's first thing I want to do is we're going to take a look at some charts today. We actually were in a couple fantastic setups early in the morning. We start our trading off probably around 7:30 in the morning here at DayTraderRadio.com, and at that point we concentrate on what we call flatline poppers. All right, these what we call flatline poppers, low flow poppers. They give us big returns in the money, and if you're there at the right time in the right place. We have a great scanner that I have running early in the morning. We're able to pick up on these right out of the gate and able to make some pretty decent returns. So I'm going to go over the ones that moved today and the ones that are moving for tomorrow. So this is actually a little bonus, meaning that if we're going to go over some stocks right now. Like right now, it looks like NBY, Nova Bay Pharmaceuticals. Nice little pop. Now, you'll see on my charts, if you tune in, again, DayTraderRadio.com. At any time, we're broadcasting 24/7. The markets, even overnight, I'm trading the futures and stuff. But I tend to put a circle like this on where we notice it or where we like the stock, just as a marker. You know, I'm home now. It's about 9:30, and after hours is closed. But we see that this one is up about 40% after hours. And that's, from 72 cents to $1. So it's a nice move up, and probably will continue tomorrow. So what I'll do is I'll break these down. I'll look at most of these will be old stocks that have had recent reverse splits. So the share amounts are small. The floats have been reduced, and they tend to get a pop, and they tend to get some follow through. It really depends on the news. I did a pretty good lesson that members of the site get. It's called the how to trade flatline poppers, basically. So let's just go through the ones that are moving right now. All right, so I'm going to just go through them. Some of them were good, some of them were bad. We'll just look at the thing. Some of them are, my criteria is they have to be up over 20%, 25% on the on some volume, and a low float. Now this one, Hall, it tells me that it has a very low float here, because you can see the reverse split here back from 1 to 10. I think I have a float under 1 million shares, 570,000 shares. That's pretty small. And low float stocks move around really, really good. Now this has I call this under the radar because it really doesn't have much volume in it, but it is up a little today, and it consolidated into. So this is kind of under the radar. Not many people will know this, but my scan picks it up, and we're able to see that. So let's just keep on going on. We'll probably see some of these tomorrow. Look at this. Farfetch had earnings after the close. I remember hearing that, and it popped, and it's consolidated nice into the post-market, at the close of the post-market, 8 o'clock. So tomorrow it probably starts off, and it will be on our list. It's up 25% after hours. Snacks. Again, you can see this one. Low volume, under the radar, sneaking up. I'd pay attention to this one tomorrow. It's actually looking pretty good. GSI. That one had a nice run all day, out of the gate. It was at 421. It went all the way up to 650. Pulled back a little now. But after hours, it seemed to held on to some gains, and it looks pretty good. Very active after hours. So we'll watch that tomorrow. There's quite a few on the board as the market closed today. Very strong. Mind Technologies, again, another one kind of under the radar, sneaking up. These sneakers, I could point them out. Here we had ELTK, and you can see it. We had a circle here, and this is the pre-market. You see this kind of grayish area? This is a pre-market time, and this is the post-market, after hours. A lot of these we find pre-market, and I have what's called a blueprint on how to trade these. Let me see if I can pull that out for you right now. All right, this is from the lesson. And again, if you sign up on the site and you can't have a hard time finding where these lessons are, just email me, ironaction@yahoo.com, and I'll direct you or send you the file. But there's a lot of great, the files on this, the slideshow that I do, and there is a video and an audio portion on this that I describe each of these charts. But I'm just going to use this for reference. Some of these, what just happened there? Oh, all right. Well, let's go into the thing. So here we go. We talk about pre-market breakouts. Let's see here. I want to get to. A lot of times you'll see the pre-market pop and then the pullback to what we call the 20-period moving average, and at the open we pop. All right, this is standard for a pre-market mover. As you can see, here's another example: the pop, the pullback, and then the pop again. These are just examples, but you're going to see what I call a
order canceled.
Oh, let me see if I can get to the anatomy. This is my anatomy of a low flow popper. So typically we have news, pre-market we have the initial news and the initial pop. We watch for the stock. First of all, we'd like to see volume up there. I like to see volume up to 1,000%. Instead of 100% volume, I mean average volume, 1,000% average volume, normal volume. And that's a lot of volume. And when you have that type of volume, that's when these conditions really hold. That's when you'll get a nice pullback to the 20, and that 20 will hold really good. It's important to have that combination. I think I discussed it here too, right? Let's see if I did discuss it here. First pullback of the 20, stock continue to make new highs. 80% of them will hold the 20 on the 5-minute chart and pull back after the news. It's one of the most important criteria for the entry. So again, pop, first pullback to the 20-period moving average, that's where you want to buy. Unless you're early on the pop, and then you can get that pop and then take profits. But most of the time, you're not going to be that early on the pop. You're going to get a pop, and then a lot of people get in here, and it drifts back, and they get shaken out only for it to bounce and move higher. So it's very important to have that volume. After the initial pop, the stock will either fade back or hold above the 20. If you see tremendous volume, plus 1,000% combined with substantial news, then watch the 20 EMA to hold and the stock to trade higher. That's what you want to buy off of. All right. So just again, one more time, just look at our anatomy of our trade. After that, we look at the open, and typically after the open is we get a pop. People that are not able to trade pre-market, they are watching the markets, they're looking for volume leaders and pre-market poppers and gappers and stuff like this. And when they see that, they'll put the orders in and they'll get into these, thinking these will be the runners. And this will give the initial pop out of the 9:30 open. This is one of the best times to sell if you're in pre-market. And that's what we did today. I did that exactly. I talked about the trade. I said exactly what we want. I walked you through. It was textbook. I hope to show it to you in a second. It was the pop, the pullback to the 20, and the pop on the earnings. On the open. And then I sold. And we got 50% on that trade. It was a decent trade. So let's see if we can find that. So I wanted to show you some of those. Some of the criteria that I like to pay attention to. So we're going to go back here. Let's take a look here. EV, all right, so you can see here pre-market. What happened here? We had a pre-market pop. We identified that. We moved here to the open, and right at the open we popped and went higher. And after we got that pop, we kind of drifted and moved a little bit higher. This is actually one that showed great relative strength. If I put 2 circles in it, and I know that the strength is good, that means that we like that. I like the strength on that early in the day. So here's another pop, a pre-market pop, a pullback to the 20-period moving average. Right after the open, we kind of got a nice pop, and that's where we left off. But I want to show you the one we got into today. Saunders. There's another one, Benny Hill, that started to move back up. Some new ones are up here. Lucy. I think that's psychedelics, LSD. That has some news. It looks like that had some news after hours. We'll have to watch for that one tomorrow. I could look up the news now, but all right. So here we had WLGS. This is one that we got into. Initial pop, I liked it because of the low float, Chinese names. You might think, why do you like Chinese names? Well, these stocks have been running. And this one also, if you look at the daily chart, had a recent IPO. So when you get a pop and a recent IPO and you have a level up here that you're pretty close to this, lots of times it tries to get back up there. If it gets back up there for whatever reason and goes higher, this thing is going to rip. But anyway, this was, the pop, the pullback. This actually pulled a held to 20. I actually got a little bit early. But it pulled back. I was pretty comfortable with it. It pulled back, and then we started ripping high. It was really good news, something about killing tumors twice as fast as normal. And then at the open, we had the initial pop, and I sold it. And I sold it probably about 5 cents off the highs. And from that point on, we kind of drifted all the way back. So that was a really, really textbook trade. We got paid probably about 40% on that trade. All right, this is again. That's what's happening after hours. It looks like some things that we'll probably have some movement tomorrow. A lot of these stocks here are looking good, but I wanted to show you that Wang Lee stock here. That was textbook. News in the morning, low float, first pullback, buy it, sell after the open, and move on. And this is what we look for, a couple of these every single day. And these happen between, actually the pre-market opens at 4 o'clock. So if you're in there at 4 o'clock, you could trade these from 4 o'clock. And you can actually. My scanner, which you'll see right here, will be on the screen. If you go to Day Trading Radio, you'll see what it looks like. Let me see where it is here. This is the dashboard. And right now, it would be right there, but I'm using it on my screen at home, and I can't show it at my office. I took it off, and I'm showing it at my home, but it would be right here. So here's your dashboard when you log in. Here's your charts. These are the stocks we're trading. Here's the trade alert box. These are all the trades that we're taking. Actually, we'll go over those today. You get those instantaneous sent right to you. So again, you can see we bought. All right, so just to kind of review here, this morning. Today is. We got in this morning. Pre-market mover. We bought 200 WLGS, $1.89, and we sold it at $2.37. We made $93 on that. It wasn't a lot, but hey, that was easy money. That was being right there, getting in and getting out. Bought some more ABBV today. We sold our DXC before earnings. Held a little into earnings, bought some more Riley, and I started a position in ISRG today in options. That's up big after hours, or today. And the FIO here, this was another great one. Came up with news, picked up 100 shares of FIO at $4.56, and we sold it at $5.85 for just about $130. In less than I bought it at $12.06, sold it at $12.36. Held it for 30 minutes exactly. PHIO. Let's go back to the videotape, Johnny. PHIO. And you guys can trade. Anybody's out there, this is what we do every day. Every day since 2007. So this is the one we had news. I was sitting right here on this, and we had news, so we got right in it fast. I got in. And then when we took it off, and it went up further. It went up to 675. And we sold whatever I sold it. I just mentioned it, but had a nice profit on it, and eventually came back down. I think we sold it at 5 and change, like this pop. We sold it, and now it's pulled all the way back down. And that's the key, is to get out of these stocks. These are not the best stocks for pattern day traders. Pattern day trader traders that traded, and they only have a limited amount of trade, because you tend to burn trades. This will suck you into holding, because if you're not like on a site like mine, and you're getting that news really quickly, then you're going to have to find it yourself, and you're going to probably end up chasing this and getting in here, and the next thing you know, the price is here, and you're either going to force to hold it because you don't want to burn a trade, or you're going to sell it for a loss because you're afraid you don't know where it's going. Now, this could go up again tomorrow, but it's so much easier when you have the tools and you get the move and you take profits. You must take profits in this market. That is our goal. So if you get a nice move, burn a trade, take the profit, and do what you have to do. All right, let's go back to all right, so that we took that, we sold that. Um, then the DXC actually after hours moved down and entered our buy trigger area. Now the Rockbot has been amazing. We've been trading the futures also, and this week I've been focused on the futures exclusively because of the debt ceiling talks and the amount of volatility in the market. We didn't really know which way we were going to go. Today we actually rocketed higher, and I should just use this a few minutes just to kind of go over the market here. Before even that, for the next 4 days we have a little sale. I just mentioned it right here. I sent it out in a post here. All right. We have a little sale. That's $9.99. The lifetime membership gives you the script to the Rockbot, gives you the script to the quad rotation, so you can run these scripts on your own platform and let them trade for you. This is the only way to get these is having a lifetime membership. I spent years developing this. And along with the lifetime membership, you get the exclusive courses. One course is $499. The other one's $369. It's almost $1,000 there. If I sold the scripts and I sold the bots on our own, it'd be $1,000. And then the site itself is another $1,000. The value of everything as a lifetime is probably around $3,000. We tend to have it on sale around $1,500. We're doing a Memorial Day type of sale, bringing it down to $1,000, so kind of cutting it in half. But it's normally $12.99, but until Sunday, the prices have been adjusted. We took $300 off to $12.99. It's $9.99. All right, it's $9.99 until Sunday. Then it goes back to $12.99. Still be on sale for Memorial Day, but the early birds for 4 days only will get an additional $300 off. You can just go right to DTR.tv, or you can just go to DayTradingRadio.com. The prices are already adjusted in the site there. And this talks about the setup here and what you get and how you get it there. So it's important to act on that. There's also a pretty cool video here on the high probability setups. I snuck into that. So, DTR.tv/2023. If you click on that, I wonder if I can click on that and where it'll go. Yeah, it should go to something there. Let's see. It's not going to. Let's take a look here. Where is it? Here it is. You'll see it goes right to the sign up, and you'll see that the prices are already adjusted to $9.99. Everything else is the same. I mean, everything's a great bargain. I did put the 3-month starter course from $129 down to $99 for the 4 days also, but that'll go back up to $120, $129 on Sunday. So take advantage of that if you'd like. So let's go back to the last thing we're going to talk about today. Is the Rockbot. The Rockbot, I've been doing a lot of work on it. It's been really killer this week. When I say killer, it's been identifying the great trades, and I've been focused and taking my trades on this. Tomorrow, I'm on the air. Paul will be on vacation, so I'll be on the air tomorrow, and I'll be running the Rockbot on my live account. So you should be able to watch that, and I think you'll enjoy seeing those trades. This is basically what you'll see. Now, I have at my house, I have the Rockbot running on a different chart templates, a little whiter chart. And the one that you see during the show at the office, I have a black background, but it's the same NinjaTrader platform, and it runs the same scripts. But I'm just going to show you, it takes a lot of trades. And what I like to do is let it get me in a trade, and then manually I'll decide what the market conditions are, and I'll take it on and off. But if you just left it running, the Rockbot channel, again, the Rockbot channel, you can actually watch this yourself. You don't even, if you're not a lifetime member, you still get the Rockbot. You still get the Rockbot channel. The channel is right here in the lower part of your dashboard. Click on that. All right, and then it'll say Rockbot viewer, and then click on that, and then the viewer will come up, and you'll see the live Rockbot here performing for you. So that's going live right now. It's actually in a trade. Um, so there's so much, and again, you could shadow that, but it's not like it's taking the trades for you. But you have that ability if you do go to, if you have that lifetime membership and you want to use it on the NinjaTrader platform. Highly recommended. All right, let's go back to the. All right, no, that's my charts. Let's go back to this. What you see on the Rockbot. The divergence long, depending on how the market is set up, it really depends on how we're taking profits. Either we're going to be a fast scalper going from an overbought to an oversold level, an oversold to an overbought level. But the most important thing is just the combination, especially if you're a new trader out there and you're using the Rockbot or the Tradeometer. When you look at the Rockbot channel, you're going to see these blue lines. Well, first of all, you're going to get the divergence calls. And those are obvious because they come out and the bot will talk to you and it'll identify those trades. It'll take the trades and it'll move up the profits and it'll take everything and do everything automatic. But these are the best setups, and they're based off the lane divergence. The lane divergence, I'm not going to go into the whole thing, but it's a divergence style using stochastics. And a divergence using stochastics. There's nothing better. So identify those. I've tuned this up perfectly for these market conditions. So we're able to actually identify those divergences, get in with a protective stop. And then again, if you have the bot yourself, you can manage your own trades once you get in. But these will get you in right off the divergence, depending on how you want to follow it up with a trailing stop or how far you want to do it. But this is how I have it programmed now. It's doing a good job. Here you can see it took a short here. This was a beautiful short. We took this short too. It was actually kind of a triple top here, but this high and this second high and the lower high here identified as short and came down and it took profits. And it always follows it up with a trailing stop, break even trailing. So we take profits and we follow it down with a tight stop so we don't give it anything back. If there is a lot of chop, it will take a stop. But here's the blue line. Now when you start seeing the blue lines are the quad rotations. The quad rotation is a very special script that which is a multiple time frame script. Meaning we have all four. You don't see four on this. There's 3 stochastic bands on here, but on the formula there's 4. That and a little curve to it, a little slope formula that I use to identify when the trend is changing. And when that happens, we'll get a blue line. And when we have a blue line and a divergence at the same time, we call that a super signal. And it's going to give you the biggest moves in the market. So the quad rotation is when all time frames, and they tend to give you the areas where these channels break back up. I did a kind of a little review here, and I looked at almost all my quad rotations. And there's a little tip for you right now. I haven't told anybody this. I've been doing some back testing. I noticed that on average, within 10 minutes of a quad rotation, the market is moving up. I mean, if you get in here and it chops around, give it 10 minutes. If it's not moving up, take the trade off. But within 10 minutes, you're usually turning back up. It's going to be very hard sometimes just to grab the ultimate bottom and say, "Oop, I'm in," and it's going to go right back up. Markets are full of algorithms and stuff. But again, with my additional research and back testing and stuff, I've noticed that there is you give yourself 10 minutes in a trade, it usually is starting to work out for you if it chops around for a bit. All right, and if it has a divergence underneath it, then you really want to be part of that. So here's another one. This one actually broke down. You can see that, but then we came in again with a second one, and this was news. And I would say, let's be realistic. There's nothing out there that's going to be perfect. All right, and when I say that, there's too many landmines in this market. We had so many people, so much Fed talk today. Fed presidents, we had like 3 of them out there talking about interest rates and how they want to increase, continue to hike the interest rates to keep inflation lower. And that just spooked the market. So every time you had that, the market would drop. And if you happen to be in a good trade and the news comes out and it drops, that happens, and that's exactly what happened here. I don't know what Fed president was on or whatever, but I do remember it dropped here really hard. Got oversold, and then sometimes we get a little extended, and we got another oversold level, and that was actually quite good. But sometimes there will be news, and things will break down. All right. But the majority of the time, if there's no news and it's just a natural rhythm of the market, then you got to take these quad rotations. And if you have a quad rotation, like this had a quad rotation, but there was no divergence. Here we had a quad rotation and a divergence. And what did I say? When you have a quad rotation and divergence, that is your super signal. All beginner traders should be taking this. This is almost your, this is, and again, I love using analogies. This is your poker hand where you have to lay down your money and bet. It's your aces in the hole. You got to start betting at one point. And I don't like to use that word bet, but that's just the term to explain the analogy. But if you're a blackjack player and the dealer has a 6 showing, and you have you have 2 aces, what a great time to split. You hear the waterfall in the background. All right, here we go. So the market here goes through goes through its stuff, and you can see the 5-minute divergence long here. It takes profits on the way up, and then has a trailing stop. We came back down here, a little choppiness, and then we had another divergence. Now we had a divergence and a quad rotation. Now the quad rotation came a little bit to divergence. You might ask me, John, do we have to have it happen at the exact time? Like I said, I like when it's within 10 minutes of each other. And this is within that, so that's probably within 5 minutes. You have a divergence, and lots of times you'll get a quad rotation and a divergence. That is the best. That honestly is your 60 minutes oversold, and you have a higher low on the stochastics with a lower low on the price. There's nothing better than that. And as you can see the results, look at the results from that. This was a text, you could see this one. Here's your low, here's your low, here's your lower low, here's your higher low. Here's your quad rotation with the quad rotation here and the divergence. This is your best setup of the day, even though it came, this one came after hours here. It definitely moved up. And again, this is looking at, and this runs 24/7 or as long as the market's open. This will run. I always tell people, put it on your laptop, put it next to your bed, and it'll talk to you at night, and it'll wake you up, get you into a trade, and you can manage your trade. I'd always pay attention. I wouldn't go to bed with this thing on in case you have news or anything, or any type of malfunction, power outage or anything. It's not meant for that. It's meant to identify. I originally made it to identify the setups and me to manually take those trades. You are able to put it on auto, but I don't recommend it because you have to understand the market conditions when you use it. You don't want to put on a long divergence when the market is extremely in a weak area. You're not going to get the bounces, and you have to adjust your parameters. Your parameters meaning how much you're going to look for your first profit, how much you're going to look for your second profit. Here I have first profit, maybe 6 ticks or 8 ticks, 2 points. The second profit, 10, 14 ticks, plus a trailing stop that moves up after everything, and that works great. But if it's a real downtrend market, or a downtrending market, and you're trading against that trend, you have to make sure your parameters, your targets are going to be smaller, and that you have to kind of be hands-on. So like I said, don't recommend letting it run overnight because conditions change. But when you have I do love the opportunities that this gives us, and this is it runs for you. So here you can see it doesn't miss a trade. It does not miss a trade. Look at this. All right, and then again we have the quad rotation also, and this is both of these are running. Look at that. Look at the quad rotation. This wasn't a diversion, but it was a quad rotation, and you probably could have convinced yourself that this was kind of a double bottom area here. At least I would have said that. You had this candle, it was starting to move up, and you have these nice moves up. And then again, this is on the 1 minute time frame. There's another quad rotation. Look at the quad rotations and what the move is afterwards. Look at these. The quad rotation is one of the best scripts I've developed, and now available on the Rockbot. Here's another quad rotation, plus a divergence, and look at that big run. And I could go through these and break down all these, but you know what? It is what it is. You can see it. I mean, here's another quad rotation. And this is running right now. Oh, speaking of the devil, Day Trading Radio live. We just had a quad we just had a quad rotation before, and look at it move up, and we just had a divergence here. Amazing. And this is continuing overnight at 10 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Beautiful trade right here. This thing is just racking it up. Excuse me. So you get this here, Day Trading Radio. Opportunity. Take the opportunity now. Won't get a better price than this if you want the bot running on your machine. If you don't care about running on the machine, you just want to watch it and trade with it, then you become a member and you get it with all the membership packages. All right, all the membership packages are there, and the HPS watch list and everything else that comes along with Day Trading Radio. All right, so let's go back out here. This is where I was signing up here. You go to the sign up again. We're going to cut this down here. All right, here we go. Like I said, if you just want to follow the Tradeometer, you can try the beginner package. You want to test everything out for 3 months and see how you do. Now, with the Rockbot code and the Tradeometer, I didn't even go over the Tradeometer. I did not even go over that. What's another algorithm that you get with the lifetime package? You also get it with your other memberships. It's right here. Click on that, it'll pop up. And again, that's a scalping indicator. And as you can see here, this is based off the quad rotation. So quad rotation sell side, quad rotation sell side. These are scalping zones, buys and sells. And as you can see, each one is almost perfect. Again, these are 1 minute time frames. So this move down to this move down is a good 5 to 7 points. We're taking these for 2 to 5 points on our 1 minute time frame. On the 5 minute time frame, you can let it run longer. All these work for different time frames. And again, you can head over to the site if you want to find out more about all this stuff. It's all detailed out there. Again, the starter program is on sale also. If you click on that, you'll see that the starter program is $99, and the lifetime here with the Rockbot code is Rockbot and everything for life. And this school of stock with the two is $9.99, and again, that usually goes for $14.99 to $1,700. So it's a really good discount, and that's normally for Memorial Day it's going to be $12.99 for the next 4 days until Sunday. Additional $300 off to $9.99, and that's that. You do credit card and stuff. And if you want to watch the show, head over to DayTradingRadio.com. We'll see you there in the markets tomorrow. I'm going to be broadcasting, and we'll be using this bot all day long. It'll be taking my trades tomorrow. So if you want to get on board and watch that, I'll see you guys in the morning about 7:30. All right. This is DayTraderRockStar signing off. I'll see you guys in the morning. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give me any feedback. Like it. Subscribe. You know what to do. I'm not a big promoter. But if you could help out, the channel, go right ahead. Thank you. Good night.